What an exciting opportunity. I'm so thrilled to talk to all four of you. Rosie's Theater Kids is one of the most impressive organizations that I've come across. New York City theater district based, and the idea is there are all of these kids who live in and around the theater district who don't have access the way that so many of us are lucky enough to have to the world of Broadway and the training that goes into the arts. So, Lori, I'm going to start with you. You, in 2003, along with Rosie O'Donnell, founded Rosie's Theater Kids. Tell me about how the program got started.
Well, it started, I was friends with Kelly, her partner at the time, and it really started around her kitchen table. We were sitting there one day, and Rosie said, you know, there's two things I love. Well, just to back up a little, she had a foundation that gave nationwide. She said, now that I'm leaving TV, it'd be nice to really know the people that I'm touching. So I'd love to start this organization. I love two things. I love kids and musical theater. Can you do something? So we did. We got it started and haven't looked back since then.
So it's been more than a decade. You've moved from being in one school to being in 20 schools.
Yes.
And thousands of kids have come through, including Mariana and Maxwell, who are here with us today. Lisa, you directed the program that we're going to see a part of, which is a summer intensive focusing on the Harlem Renaissance.
Right.
How did you get involved with RT Kids, and how did the Harlem Renaissance come to be the focus of this summer's program?
I was really lucky to know Lori, and she was starting this in 2003, and I was a performer, and I had done some teaching, and she said, we're looking for musical theater teachers, and it was just the right time, and I've never looked back, and I just love these kids, and I always say that the best part of my job is I get to spend a long time with them because we meet them in the 5th grade, and now Mariana, 7 years later, she's a senior, and I've spent all this time with her, so we develop really close relationships with them. This show for the summer, we use music from the Harlem Renaissance and poetry, and it's an era that we keep kind of revisiting because there's just an abundance of riches from that era, and such a touchstone in American culture, and so to get New York City kids singing the music of Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington and using the words of Langston Hughes, I mean, there's nothing better. And so we revisited this summer,
Can you guys each tell me about your first interactions with Rosie's Theater Kids, how you first heard about it, your first time sort of interacting with the program, and how you've changed since that happened?
The first time I was introduced into Rosie's Theater Kids was in the 5th grade, which is called PS Broadway, where they come and do little classes with us. I think it was every Thursday.
In your school?
In our school. And it was so much fun because I didn't even know what musical theater was. So to be surrounded by it and do tongue twisters, it was so much fun. And then being a Rosie's kid was very different because I developed a second family. We became really close.
So how does that work? After the 5th grade program, which is brought to all the kids in the 5th grade, a certain number of those kids are, is it by invitation, is it by audition, that they come to actually work out of your facility in the West Village? I mean, in Hell's Kitchen.
Mariana was my student at PS 142, so I noticed a spark in Mariana. And so I invited her to come to our conservatory program at Marival Arts Center on West 45th Street. And that's how the kids come to be in that program. It's by invitation only, and it's an effort-based audition, so they have to kind of show up and do their best.
And it's based on, from what I've heard, a real love for the material.
Yeah.
Maxwell, I know you got a little bit of a different kind of program because you had a brother who was involved as a 5th grader and moved into the program, and then you, as the younger sibling, got a special invitation to continue the family legacy, as it were.
Yes. Like you said, my older brother was a Rosie's Theater Kid. He was actually the first class to graduate from Rosie's Theater Kids. And I got the gift early. I was able to come in the 4th grade and audition. And my first audition was probably one of the things I'll remember for the rest of my life. Because I remember Lisa coming up to me and we were singing. Can't remember what song we were singing, but I remember Lisa coming up to me and just listening to me. And I didn't know what was happening. She was just standing there and I was like, oh, I'm gonna just keep going and hope for the best. And there I blossomed into the person I am today. So they have really sculpted and made me into the person I am.
Well, I have gotten to see you guys perform, and you are like professionals. In fact, I couldn't believe that all of the training you had gotten was through this program. I thought you must have started when you were children and been, I mean, children even younger than you are now. I was like, these guys must have started dancing when they were 3 or 4 years old. The fact that all of your training has come from Rosie's Theater Kids is quite a testament to the program.
Thank you. I mean, the staff is, of course, all professional teachers and teaching artists, and they're really the best in the city.
You work in Title I schools.
Yes.
Lisa, can you talk about what a Title I school is and how RT Kids chooses the schools that you go into?
Title I schools, that means that 80% of the children that go to that school qualify for free lunch. So our program is offering the arts to kids that might not necessarily have the opportunity. So we're in about 20 schools in the city, and it's a 15-week program. And as Lori likes to say, it's a little appetizer, a musical theater, that first introduction.
And those kids get, as part of that PS Broadway program, get to go to their first Broadway show in a lot of cases, right?
Yeah, they do. It's
What
really
show
exciting.
did you get to see, Mariana?
I think it was called Winter Wonderland or like Wonderland. It was like a Alice.
Oh,
in
Wonderland.
Yeah, Wonderland.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
And you were not part of PS Broadway, right? Have you gotten to see Broadway shows?
I wasn't part of PS Broadway, but my first musical I saw with Rosie's was Matilda.
Great. And do you guys are you still going to
All,
shows?
all the time.
Yeah?
Yes, we are.
Rosie's always gets donations to go see a Broadway show, and like, but what did we recently go see?
We saw Miss Saigon.
Yeah.
We saw Miss Saigon. It was amazing.
That was-
And some of your alums have gone on to do great things in arts graduate programs. I just saw a couple of Rosie's kids, including Maxwell, your brother, perform at City Center's Encore's production of a show that happens to have the name Rosie in the title, but no relation. I mean, it's clear that you guys are changing individuals' lives and changing the landscape of the arts in America, and I think it's just beautiful. I'd also like to say that the celebration around the organization has really been top-notch, and the number of honors that you've received is really impressive, including Tony Award for Rosie O'Donnell in conjunction with her work. And I have this beautiful picture of the two of you guys with none other than Michelle Obama, the First Lady. Mariana, what was it like getting to meet Michelle Obama and perform at the White House?
It was so amazing because she is so beautiful. One thing, she's so beautiful. And it was just amazing to like go to the White House, perform for Michelle Obama, to actually like have full-on conversation with her, and then do a little party with her in the reception. It was amazing.
What did you talk to her about?
College. She was like, "Oh, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? If you in the future you come see me again."
And you were like, I will.
Yes.
Don't mind if I do. How did that come to be, and what was the occasion?
Well, we won an award, the National Arts and Humanities Youth Program Award, and we applied for that and got the call that we had won. When we first started Rosie's, I had this idea that we would not just teach the arts, but our motto is rehearsing for life. So all those little things in between. And so one time the kids, I think we were eating, and I'm saying, here's, how we put the napkin, we're going to use this fork and that. And the kids were kind of, why do we have to do this? I was like, because someday we're going to be eating dinner in the White House. And then we were there. It was so exciting.
And
we
didn't
got
that
to
lead
eat
to an
dinner.
invitation to return?
Yes, we got to go back for the final state dinner of the Obama administration.
Were all four of you there?
I wasn't.
It was
Neither
a
was
different
I.
group of kids.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
got
tried to
it.
take some different kids.
Yeah, that's great. You impact so many kids' lives, and the idea of spreading that honor around, I
Right,
think,
right.
is a great one. What does rehearsing for life mean to people who are 15 and 17 and in the midst of this program?
I think rehearsing for life means you're not only rehearsing for musical theater, you're rehearsing to like touch other individuals, to be respectful to others and to yourself. That's what I think rehearsing for life means.
Rehearsing for life for me really means it's what Mariana said. It's more than just musical theater. It's morals. It's really learning how to treat somebody. We get taught, say thank you, please. I appreciate you coming. It goes a long way. Lori always tells us that when someone comes sees a show, the thing they're most impressed with is how we can talk to them, how we can keep a conversation and not really just say, oh, thank you, and then walk away. And I feel like that's one of the most important things personally, is just being able to have a one-on-one conversation.
There is this gorgeous facility in Hell's Kitchen, the Marivelle Arts Center. People can find out more about Rosie's Theater Kids at rosiestheaterkids.org. Are there performances open to the public that people can sign up on your mailing list and find out when they can come and see these kids perform?
Throughout the year, we have different performances, of course, that we'd invite them to. And we have our spring event called Passing It On, which is always a great evening of mentorship.
Well, I hope everyone will sign up, because getting to see these kids in action is really fantastic. I'd love to take a couple of questions from the audience.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. So I was involved in the arts when I was in school, and it's some of the best memories that I have. And it feels like arts funding is always in jeopardy. So how can people like me, who are no longer students but not yet parents, get involved and help arts programs?
I think there's a few ways. Certainly, all of these programs love volunteers and the input and ideas that you could bring for that. And don't ever think that a small donation doesn't impact, because if everyone made a small donation, it really does make a big impact. I think people think, oh, I can't give very much. It helps. So just look online for an arts center or something near in your community, and see what you can do. Offer to help on their junior board or just volunteer.
That's a great question. I love that you want to get involved.
Hi guys, thank you for being here. So this question is for you guys, Maxwell and Mariana. Now that you've gotten involved in theater, what would you say is one of your favorite kind of dream roles that you'd love to play, or just kind of any kind of theatrical inspiration?
Me personally, it doesn't matter what I'm doing as long as I'm performing. I enjoy seeing a smile on somebody's face. I enjoy looking in the crowd and seeing someone smile and being in tears, like, that was amazing. I enjoy putting a smile on somebody's face. So I don't think it's anything specific in terms of a role, but it is specific in terms of I want to be performing.
I feel my favorite thing about performing is the adrenaline that you get from performing for other people and how they get excited to see you perform. And my favorite part about performing is probably singing. I love singing.
So I see you as like being this kind of Audra McDonald, or like just, you know, I feel like having heard you say, well, you're on your way. And with you, Maxwell, I see you as like a young, fresh Gregory Hines type.
Oh,
those shoes that you both have on are so fantastic. And like, I just feel like you belong in those tap shoes. Having had a chance to see you tap, you guys are both going places, and you guys have a lot to be proud of. I can't wait to see where everybody goes next. Do we have another question?
Hi, I was wondering if you could talk more about the process of choreographing the dances and if the students get any input.
You know, we're lucky enough to have a great team. Actually, our tap choreographer, Claudia Rajarjanotto, is here in the audience. We have a great resident choreographer, Kyle Pleasant. And, you know, because we work so closely with the kids, we develop a shorthand with them, and they work very quickly. I think, you know, as a director, we're always looking to the kids to see what kind of choices they're going to make, and we build on those choices. So, you know, Max makes an offer in the rehearsal room, and we say, I love that. Let's develop that more. One of the students was doing part of a poem, and the very first time she did it, her choices were so bold and beautiful that I went and searched for more material for her. So I think they're always a part of the process, and we're building on their strengths.
Thank you so much for being here.